Hey everyone, MinerBiker here. I am not out riding today. I am in my garage slash bike cave here. What I'm doing today is a little bit of maintenance on my wheel set for my Fezzari LaSalle Peak. As you can see, it is here in the bike stand with no wheels on it. That is because I did break my rear rim. I cracked it pretty good, and so I'm in the process of building up a new rear wheel for it. The front wheel is sitting right there with a brand new tire on it, waiting for the rear wheel to get finished. While I've got this rear wheel taken apart, I'm also going to replace one of the bearings in my rear hub. So this is my Onyx rear hub that I run on the back of this bike. Have run it for several years now. I absolutely love this hub because of the instant engagement as well as the silence of the free hub, which is fantastic. This hub has probably well over 5,000 miles of hard riding on it, and it's just starting to feel a little bit rough. So I think one of the bearings, I'm thinking the one on this side, the braking side, is getting a little rough and needs to be replaced with that little guy right there. So here we go. I'm gonna walk through the process a little bit. Alrighty, so again, Onyx rear hub, silent, very smooth, very low resistance. Free hub is the best thing ever. Absolutely love this hub. It's a little bit heavy, but solid as a rock and just so nice to ride with. Absolutely love it. So with the Onyx hub, the first thing we got to do is remove this end cap right here. Sometimes it's a little tight, so I'll give it a little bit of help. Be very careful, just real light and careful with the pliers so don't damage the end cap. Just work that off of there nice and gentle. Now I've got this preload ring that we need to take off. So first we're going to get it lined up with the little groove right there that allows your 2.5 mil Allen key to slip in there. Loosen up the pinch bolt in that ring, and now that ring will thread right out of there. So that's just a preloader ring, preloads the bearings. So yeah, it just threads right off of there. Now you can see that bearing right there. I'm pretty sure that one's our troublemaker. So first, now we got to take the axle out. So to do that, you use your 2.5 mil Allen key through this hole on that side. Use that to hold the axle on that end, and use a wrench, or I just got an adjustable wrench here. Use that on the other end. Pop that nut loose. Should just be snug, not very tight. You thread this nut off the other end, which is the other end cap. That threads off. Pull that out, and now your axle will pop out this side. You can pull the axle all the way right out. And now that exposes your bearing right there. That one does feel a little scratchy and rough, so that's definitely our problem right there. There, just pulled the actual free hub out. You can see how the Onyx hub works. You got all the sprags in there, and then just the shaft on the free hub. So when it's spinning the one way, all those sprags kind of lay down and just let it just spin very free and easy. Then as soon as it tries to turn the other way, they stand up against it, bind and lock up. Which gives you the silence as well as the instant engagement. Which is beautiful. Also makes it really easy to swap free hubs if you need to switch to like a Shimano free hub. You just pop that thing out, buy the other one, pop it right back in there. Pretty slick. Alright, so now to remove this existing bearing, we're going to use a slide hammer. I don't have anything fancy. Mine's just a fairly budget slide hammer set off of eBay. Nothing too fancy or anything, but it's plenty for somebody like me. It's not like Park Tool or anything like that. I mean, unless you're a pro mechanic and you're doing this all the time on other people's stuff or whatever, something like this is plenty. I got the right size here that'll fit that bearing. Stick the die in there. Then you gotta thread this in to expand the jaws and lock them into the bearing. Just get that locked in there. Then it'll bring the hammer, thread that on. popped it right out of there. So there's the old bearing, slid right out. Here you can see the inside of the hub with the snap ring in there that the bearing presses against. Also note, I did have the soft jaws on the vise so as not to damage the brake mounting flange on the hub that was resting against it. There's a good chance to feel the other bearings in the hub as well, just to make sure they're all feeling good. Feels good. Inside there feels good. So now to get our new bearing put in, and get my bearing press die right here and set that in there. Yeah, my bearing press here is nothing fancy. It's just off of eBay. Plenty good for somebody like me. It works just fine. I've used this bearing press for doing full sets of frame bearings as well as some hub bearings and different things, and it has worked just fine for everything. Now I'll grab this part of our press, thread it all the way through. Now we need a matching die to fit this other bearing on the other side so that we don't, so we keep everything nice and centered. Nope, not that one. Gotta find the right one. There we go, so that'll match that other side. So hold it all centered and straight. Now we thread our press on. Get on there and then just keep an eye on it, make sure it's going good and straight, and just gradually press it in. Keep going until you feel it bottom out. Make sure it's snug, and we're done. There's our new bearing all pressed in there, nice and slick. Now to put our hub back together, first thing we do is put our axle back in on that side, put our threaded end cap on, thread that down, put your 2.5 mm Allen key through the hole on that side, use your wrench, and just go just snug, does not need to be tight. And take our preload ring on the other side, thread that down, and this we want to just thread it on to where it just bottoms out pretty much. And then we tighten up our pinch bolt on the ring, snug that down. Again, doesn't need to be tight. Make sure everything feels good, it's nice and smooth, there's no lateral play or anything in it. No extra resistance, it's just nice, smooth, everything feels good. Then take our last end cap, pop him in place, and now I'm ready to go throw this hub in a wheel jig and rebuild my rear wheel so that I can get back to riding. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little video there, my Onyx rear hub bearing replacement. It's the first time I've had to replace a bearing in this hub, and I've been running this thing for going on 4 years now, with a lot of riding. So this thing's probably got 6,000-7,000 miles at least on it of hard riding. It's been absolutely just bomb proof. This one I'm putting on it right now will be my 4th rim I've laced on this hub, so it's pretty, been through a few of those, but the hub's been absolutely bomb proof. Absolutely love it. Once you get used to that silence and instant engagement, you can't live without that either. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this type of video. Definitely something a little bit different, but I do a lot of maintenance on my own bikes. Pretty much everything. I haven't taken a bike to a bike shop in years, and so I thought it'd be fun to try and start sharing some of my bike maintenance stuff, especially being definitely not professional mechanic, just a pretty much normal guy with fairly normal tools, nothing too fancy or specialist. And yet I can do everything from servicing my suspension to building wheels, all that kind of stuff myself. And I enjoy doing it. Really builds and strengthens the relationship I have with my bikes. Sometimes it gets a little bit weird. But anyways, hope you guys liked this video. Leave a comment down below. Smash that hit button. And check out the other videos on the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. And keep digging up new places to ride and adventure in the great outdoors.